What is up, my dudes? My name is Olive, and this session is going to be a 20-minute lower body mobility based sequence where we're looking at developing range within our ankles and hips through different movements, as well as contractional strength in our hip flexors and our hamstrings. So all you're going to need is a soft surface or a yoga mat, a pillow for your knees to go on when we are in a lunge position, and also a chunky brick if you have one. If you don't have a chunky brick, a chunky book will do just perfectly. Cool, so we're going to get started in a tabletop position. So our first little sequence, we're going to be looking at fire hydrants, which involves hip abduction, followed by a nice juicy ankle stretch, which is looking at increasing our dorsiflexion mobility in our ankle joints. So we're going to do this for 2 rounds on each side. So starting in a tabletop position, making sure shoulders, elbows and wrists are all in one nice long line, hips are over the knees and have those toes tucked. Keep pressing through the floor, and from here, keeping the belly drawn into the spine, we're going to lift the right knee and toes off the ground and slowly abduct it towards the right hand side. Nice small movement, and then bringing it back down. So that's 1. We're going to do this 10 times. So again, out, 2, down, for 3. 4. So with this, make sure the arms stay nice and straight. 5. Good, for 6. And we're squeezing the glutes through the movement. 7. And it's quite a small movement before we reach compensation. 8. So keep the movement nice and small. 9. Last one. 10. Good. Here, untuck the toes, sit back onto your heels, and you're going to bring the right toes in line with your right knee. From here, hips are staying level with one another, and you're slowly bearing as much of your weight forwards over that right knee as you can, whilst keeping that foot nice and flat. So if you're super low and hunched over, you're really working down, but you're lifting your heel off the ground, you're not really working into the range for your ankle. So keep that foot flat, be honest with yourself, and just keep applying as much pressure as you can. So looking at ankle dorsiflexion, quite a nice stretch sensation up the ankle, perhaps even into the calf. We're going to be here for 5 more seconds. Try to really grip your toes into the ground, and then release, bring yourself back into that tabletop. So again, with the toes tucked, reset with the arms, we're going to move into fire hydrants for the left hand side for 10. So lift the knee, the toes, and again abduct to the left hand side for 1. For 2. Good. For 3. And out for 4. You want to avoid sort of dipping the hips like that. That's when you get compensation in the body. 5. 6. Keeping the breathing steady. 7. Barely still drawn into the spine. 8. 9. And 10, nice and slow on the way back down, untuck the toes, sit back onto the heels this time, step the left foot forwards, toes in line with the right knee. Again, hips stay square, we gently start to hug into that knee and fold ourselves forwards. Again, making sure the foot stays flat, grip the toes down into the ground as much as you can. Breathe in here, nice and steady. Another 5 seconds before doing this, 1 more time on each side. Slowly releasing, bring yourself back to your tabletop position. Cool, so again, reset with the foundations. When you're ready, lifting the right knee, the toes, and abducting out to the right for 1. For 2. For 3, engaging the glutes throughout the whole movement. For 4. For 5, keep the arms nice and straight, don't bend through them. 6. Belly drawn in. 7. 8. 9. Last one. For 10. Land, untuck the toes, bring that right foot forwards. Again in line, make sure the hips are square, slowly bear the weight down. So if you're not really feeling much, which is totally common to experience, maybe next time you do this, you add a weight, so it's more of a weight-bearing exercise. So if you have weights at home, great, or if not, you can use like a bag of sugar or a carton of milk. Cool, 5 more seconds. Grip the toes in. And slowly reset, bring yourself into tabletop one last time for fire hydrants on the left side. Pushing the ground away, belly drawn in, abducting the left towards for 1, 2. Keep the breath steady for 3. For 4, engaging the glutes. For 5, try not to rotate too much in the hips, keeping the back nice and flat. 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one, out to the side. Then down and relax. Bring that left foot forwards. Again, hips are in line with one another. Slowly start to hug in, take the weight in front. Grip the toes, keep pushing the heel down into the floor. If you want, add a weight to it. Usually if I do this at the gym, I have a 10 kilo plate with me and it just adds a little bit more. Lovely, 5 more seconds. And slowly backing out. Lovely, and just take a moment, bring the feet in front, roll those ankles, roll those wrists around. So our next movement, we're going to come into a low lunge, look at a hip flexor release, and then a hamstring contraction to build some strength in those hamstrings. So swiveling the legs back round, bring yourself into tabletop. So before we come into this, worth just having a pillow by your side and your block or your book if you don't have one. So for this, shift the right hand a little bit closer into the middle, stepping that right foot forwards. And from here, let's take the pillow underneath the left knee because it just always feels a bit better. Cool, so from here, coming upright, roll the shoulders back and down, already looking at our form, squeezing and engaging the glutes, belly drawn into the spine. Let's take that right hand onto the right knee. Inhale, drawing the left hand above the head. Exhale, slowly bending towards the right hand side. So coming into some lateral flexion, making sure we're still keeping that engagement in the lower body, we're still breathing. So a couple more seconds here before we add a rotation, so increase the intensity for the hip flexors. And then start to rotate towards the right hand side, so you're bringing your left shoulder forwards, but only the top of my body's moved, the lower body hasn't. So make sure it's nice and solid. 5 more seconds here. And then slowly rotating forwards again, releasing both hands so shoulders are over those hips. From here, let's take our brick or our book, and we're going to place it in between our left hamstring and our left calf. So it's worth either having like a wall nearby or a chair just to have some like added stability when we avoid more compensation. Take your right hand onto your thigh, and for 10 seconds super hard, we're going to squeeze that left heel into our glute, so aiming to like squeeze that brick. And warning, you might cramp, I always do. So take it nice and slow. Start to lift that heel into the bum, squeezing hard for 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to avoid leaning forwards. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slowly back down, pop the brick to the side, a little bit of a release. Take hands to the inside of the front leg, tuck the back toes and lift the left knee off the ground. So in lizard, you can pulse up and down, you can rock backwards and forwards, whatever feels good. Lovely. So from here, let the left knee come down, take the right leg behind you and just swap. So right knee comes down onto the pillow, step the left foot forwards and coming all the way up. So second side, left hand onto the knee, inhale, draw the right hand higher. Making sure we're engaging through the glutes, the core, and exhale, bending towards the left hand side. So hip flexor stretch all the way down the front of that right thigh first of all. Couple more seconds here before we add a rotation. And then start to bring the right shoulder forwards, twisting towards the left hand side but without compensating in the lower body. 5 more seconds. Slowly returning to neutral, releasing, taking hold of the brick and again placing in between the right hamstring and the right calf. Take your hands to the brick or the chair and the remaining hand either on the thigh or on your hips. So again, 10-second hamstring contraction. Keep the upper body nice and still. Dragging and squeezing the heel to the bum for 1, 2, 3. Keep the foot flexed. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, gently down, put the brick away, hands go down to the inside of the front leg, lifting up your back knee. Again, pulse, rock, bounce, anything. So you guys might have cramped on one side, or maybe both, or maybe none at all. But we're going to do it again. So let the right knee come down, bring the left knee back, swap the pillow, and then when you're ready, right foot comes forwards. Bring yourself all the way up, engaging through the lower body, right hand to the knee, inhale, left hand goes up, exhale, bending towards the right hand side. Keep again driving forwards with the hips to increase that stretch sensation to the left hip flexor. 5 more seconds here. And then rotating, bring the left shoulder forwards, rotate towards the right hand side. Keep driving through. Breath is strong and steady. 5 more seconds. Before slowly coming to neutral, releasing the shoulders, take the brick, plant it in between the left calf and hamstring. Again, take hold of the side. When you're ready, squeezing the heel into your bum for 1, 2, 3, 4. Core is engaged. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Releasing, brick to the side, hands to the inside of the front leg. Push the ground away, lift that knee, pulse, move, rock, whatever. Lovely. So left knee comes down, bring the right one back, swap the pillow, last time. Taking the left foot forwards, coming all the way up. Left hand to that left knee. Inhale, right hand goes up. Exhale, bending towards the left hand side. So again, lateral flexion in the body, engaging through our foundations. Make sure the knee stays solid. 5 more seconds here. And then bring the right shoulder forwards, rotating. Still keeping up with the breath. 5 more seconds here. Before slowly releasing to neutral, take the hands by the side. Bring the brick in between the right hamstring and the calf this time. Hands to the support. When you're ready, squeezing through the hamstrings, heel to the bum for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And gently releasing. Pop the brick down, hands to the inside, lifting up that back knee, and again gently pulsing backwards and forwards, up and down. Lovely. So let the right knee come down, bring yourself back to tabletop, and you can put the pillow and the box inside because we probably won't be needing it again. And then bring yourself around where the feet are extended out in front of you, and just give them a little shake. Maybe a shake down the thighs, maybe a little massage to the hamstrings, because mine are super crampy now. Cool. So now we're going to have a look at a narrower bear sit position. So internal and external rotation for the hips, and also a nice sort of hip flexor contraction drill, where again, very similar to the hamstrings, we squeeze the knee to our chest super hard for 10 seconds and just work on developing some more strength to that specific muscle. So from here, you're going to sit on your bum, and your knees are going to be a little bit wider than your hips, and your feet are going to be a little bit wider than your knees. Not so much like a 90 degree, maybe about 45 degrees. So first of all, we're just going to look at the internal and external rotation with support. So you're going to take your hands behind you, slowly start to drop your knees down to the right hand side. The left hand sort of frames the front knee, as does the right hand. So the shoulders are facing the same way as the right leg. And again, both hands go behind as we rotate to the left hand side, framing the front knee. So we're going to do this 8 more times. So rotating towards the right. Then to the left. Keeping this nice and slow and controlled, moving back to the right. And then to the left for 6. Right for 7. Left for 8. 2 more times. To the right. Last time, all the way to the left. And slowly back to the middle. So keeping the right leg where it is, just bring the left foot sort of into the body. So it's just chilling, it's just relaxing. We're not too worried about the left leg right now. So the hip flexor contraction, you're going to take both hands behind you, Push the ground away, squeeze your shoulder blades together. So for this we want to avoid almost leaning forwards or leaning too far away or collapsing. We're going to keep this upper body still because our focus is going to come to the right hip flexor. So drawing this knee as close to our chest as possible. To start by bringing that right foot in a little bit closer. Again, checking that pressing through the ground. So keeping this foot flexor as it is in this position, so fairly relaxed, not pointing to the floor, not toes all the way up. 10 seconds super hard, we're going to squeeze that knee into our chest. So when you're ready, squeezing for 1, 2, 3. Bring it in as close as you can. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Release that leg straight. Maybe give it a little shake down. Cool, so we'll do it on the left side. So swap the legs over, right foot in, left foot lands. Push the ground away, open through the chest, arms stay straight. When you're ready, bring that left knee in for 1, 2, 3, bring it in as close as you can. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Releasing that leg, give it a little shake down. Beautiful. So coming back to our bear sit rotations, which are a little bit narrower than normal. This time we're going to add in a little bit extra. So hands go behind. This time as you drop your knees down to the right hand side, both hands brace in front, squeeze the glutes. Can you lift the body off the ground and engage? Slowly back down, hands come behind, rotate to the left hand side, brace with the hands, squeeze and lift. Good, back down. We're going to do it 8 more times each side. Hands behind, knees down to the right, squeeze and lift. Taking your time, rotating to the left. So using this sort of hip hinging movement and the control in the core, the control in the hip flexors, control everywhere in the lower body to be fair. Good, so we're now on the left for 6. Take your time with this, there's no need to rush. 7, towards the left for 8. Really try to squeeze your glutes when you come up. So we've got 2 more. Down to the right. And then slowly across to the left, last one, all the way up. And bring ourselves back to the little hip flexor. 1 more time each side. Take the left foot in. This time let's change it up a little bit. You're going to take your brick or your block and place it in between your body and between that thigh. So we're going to work on the engagement a little bit more. So again, hands come behind, pushing the ground away. Hands can either be forwards or back. And when you're ready, squeeze that knee into your chest nice and hard for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to crush that block. 7, 8, 9, 10. And releasing the legs straight, block is down. Give it a good old shake. Beautiful. So other side, swap those legs over, place a brick in between the left thigh, the left side of the body. Hands go behind. When you're ready, squeezing and contracting through hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and gently releasing. Release that left leg. Give it a good old shake. Lovely. And then releasing both legs in front. Giving them a little shake, rolling those wrists around, ankles as well. And just to help add a little bit of cool down, because we don't want to just suddenly stop our movement. So if you come down to lie on your back from here, planting the feet as wide as your hips, hands can go wherever. Just going to gently let your knees knock side to side. In windscreen wipers for a couple of rounds. So we've covered quite a lot in class, from ankle mobility to hip flexor and hamstring strength through contractional movements, as well as hip mobility. Cool. So go 1 more time on each side of windscreen wipers. And then from here back to center, crossing your left ankle over your right knee, and without using the hands, just see if you can bring the legs a little bit closer to the body and just pulse with it a couple of times. See what feels good through what range. And then sort of bring it in sort of like a neutral position. You're going to let your feet come down towards the right hand side so the left foot lands. And gently think about pressing the knee away and drawing it back in. So again, pulsing movements. Let's go for one more time. Then all the way back to the middle, swap the feet over, so left foot down and cross the right ankle. And again, start to bring the legs in closer without using the hands and further away. It's the same sort of pulsing movement. And then when you're ready, taking the feet down towards the left hand side this time. And once there, press that knee away, bring it in a little bit closer. Just working with whatever the body's happy with. So last time. And then coming all the way back to centre, planting both feet on the floor. Little bit of hamstring and calf flossing to finish. So start by hugging your right knee into your chest as close as you can. Try to keep it there. Heel starts down by your glutes. And you're going to extend your right lower leg as much as possible to point, flex, point the toes, and then bring it back down. So 5 more times. Extend, point, flex, point, back down. Extend, point, flex, point, back down. Last 2. Keep hugging the knee in for one more time. Good, then release. Same thing on the other side, so hug the left knee into the chest. Try to keep it there. Heel starts down by the bum. Extend to point, flex, point, bring it down. Feels really good after doing those hamstring contractions because I cramped really bad. Cool, so 2 more. Extend to point, flex, point. Last one, extend, point, flex, point, bring it back down. Then hug both knees, start to rock up and down 2 or 3 times. Last rock. And finding yourself in a comfortable seat. So thank you very much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed. So as always, if there are any suggestions, feedback, comments, do let me know, and yeah, I will get back to them, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining.